pacing back and forth. Oh, I don't understand why you're standing right here. All your shots have scored. No, scratching at the scars you left on my skin. We fight and we fall and we rise through it all till we find what we want, then we lose it all again. Your touch on my skin, pull me close, take me in. Just me, just you, lost in the moment.
A sit down with me. There's something in my coffee. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hello guys, it's Karen. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm really glad you clicked on this video. I do hope that you will stay and take a chance on this channel and think about subscribing before the end of the video. For my returning gems, this video is for you. It was requested. Guys, makeup hacks rarely work. Think about all of the makeup hacks over the last couple years. Tips, tricks, yes, there are tips, but are there really tricks to doing things? It's more of educated guessing on what's going to work, when's it going to work, how long is it going to work. I mean, I remember that cut crease stamp that came out. I used that for like 2 months and I haven't touched it since. This new eyebrow stamp, we've got the original eyebrow stamp. I mean, are we really going to use it past just trying it? And these products have sold out. And it's because the world wants an immediate fix for certain things. Well, guess what, guys? There really isn't too many immediate fixes. There are ways you can immediately make your pores look a little bit smaller and stuff like that, but long-term results are what we want and a routine we can stick to. And in this video, I show you guys the newest method I have for fixing texture and large pores, and I'm so glad you're going to be here with me for this journey. I really do need more coffee. My goodness, it is Saturday, probably about 11:30 in the morning. My kids are taking a nap, so that's why I am doing this video, and I'm going to stop talking so we could just get right into it and I can show you guys everything that I want to share. Alright guys, let's see. So you battle with texture. Surely that's what brought you to this video. So I am 43 years old. I have battled with texture pretty much all my life, and I came up with, or I discovered years ago, things that help with texture. The main thing with texture is always keeping the skin brand new. And what I mean by saying that is using glycolic acid treatments, using exfoliating like microdermabrasion. They have those at-home kits, and I will put everything that I use down in the description box below. But I use every day or every other day a microdermabrasion kit by Neutrogena, and it takes the first layer of skin off the first layer of dead skin off your face, and it leaves everything nice and smooth. But because I have texture, I've got to take extra steps to keep my skin looking as good as I can get it. I have used several glycolic acid peels, and they're hard to find sometimes. And I found one at Ulta, and it's by No. 7 Laboratories. It's the Resurfacing Peel. It has 15% glycolic acid in it. I shake this bottle, and it's like a thick gel. It's in a dropper, and what I do a couple times a week is I'll put a thin layer right where I have texture and large pores. Now, if you put too much on, it's going to burn. But if you go lightly, it won't be that bad at all. See, I just kind of use the dropper to put an even layer. It is burning a little bit, but it's acid. And this is something you can do at home as opposed to going to the dermatologist. I feel a little bit of a tingling, burning sensation right here. That could be because I have a little bit of a broken skin here, broken capillary, something like that. But I will leave this on for about 15 minutes. And what can help if you don't like the stinging sensation, and this one is not bad, but I'm used to putting my skin through this stuff, so it might be bad for you, I don't know. You can actually go up to a 50% glycolic acid if your skin gets used to it. I have not gotten there yet, but I did use that one time, and it was crazy, and that was about 10-12 years ago, but I have not gotten back to increasing it at all. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit. I'm not going to put anything on my forehead because I don't need it really on my forehead. So the next step, if you've got a magnification mirror, you're going to need that. Mine is 10 times the magnification. So I like to use this when I do my primer and my foundation. It actually lets me see more. Okay, so I've taken that off my face, and I want to see if there are any areas, if I were to do this, that would become dry. I want to check for that. But what I am going to do is put hydration back into my skin using the Ahava Hydration Cream Mask. So we are going to put this on, a nice generous amount. You want to have the right moisture in your skin. And you definitely need to be moisturized before you do any makeup, especially if you have texture. So I'm going to leave this on for 15 minutes. Okay, so if you did not do the exfoliation today, you have to remove the fuzzies. I did that a couple of days ago, so I don't really have any on my face, but you definitely would want to sneak that in after cleansing and doing your exfoliant. You would do that, and then you could use a toner if you don't need a moisture mask. But you will need a moisturizer, and the ingredients of these products are very, very important because it's going to be the foundation underneath your makeup, and you've got to make sure your skin is good. Okay, so I washed off my moisture mask. My skin is feeling hydrated and soft. So at this point, I can go ahead and use my primer, and you still want to have the 10 times magnification. The primer I'm using is the Benefit Porefessional, and we're going to apply it a certain way. So I'm going to look through the magnification side of my mirror on one section of my face at a time. I'm going to squirt a tiny little bit of primer, and what I'm going to do is put it in one section of my face, look at my pores, and begin to press this in to the skin. You can do circular motions, but make sure you're pressing it in, and you'll start to see these pores fade. And it should be very smooth. And I can totally tell a difference from the side that has the primer and the side that doesn't. And this is what you're going to do all around your face, where those large pores, where those acne scars are at. If you've got boxed scars, ice pick scars, anything like that, this will be very beneficial. All right, so you need like an eye cream or an eye primer. I'm going to use Jaclyn's. It's a pretty thin, looks like a moisturizer. I just put some right here. This is going to help with any fine lines you might have, and it will brighten up that area. You want to let it soak in completely before moving on. And you can do this before your primer if you want, your face primer. It's completely up to you. I don't put primer near my eyes, so I did it afterwards. And then what I do for like the crow's feet, I use the Dr. Brandt DNA Triple Peptide Eye Cream. This has been one of my favorites lately. Tiny bit. Okay. And then I'm going to have you check out the skin right by your eyebrow. Do you have texture or large pores right there? If you do, hit it with the face primer. It will make application for brow products so smooth. I think I need more coffee. I think I definitely need more coffee. All right, we're gonna let this sit. Now grab a beauty blender, but don't dampen it. Okay guys, so I've got my Real Technique sponge here. It is not dampened. And the reason it is not dampened is because, yes, if you're going to use a full coverage foundation and you dampen this, it'll be easier to blend, but it's also breaking up your foundation. And most likely it is. A lot of foundations have dimethicones in them, silicone in them now. Everybody's putting skincare into their products. And if you mix it with water, it's going to cake. So let's not do that. Now, our skin is completely soft, so we don't have to worry about, and we've primed and we don't have any dry spots. We're good to go. So you need to take those necessary skincare steps. And then I have my new way of doing foundation. I've got Bare Minerals mineral powder. Now, if you have a foundation powder or a powder with a tint, a setting powder, that kind of thing, you can use that as well. It's going to be your technique you want to focus on. So still keeping up with the 10 times magnification mirror and my Bare Minerals, I am using Natural Medium number 15. This is their mattifying foundation. I am going to put some in the cap here. Then I'm dipping the flat side of this sponge. I need to finish that coffee. I've coated it nicely, and what I'm going to do is press it into my skin. We're not rubbing anything, we are pressing it in. A nice light layer. I'm still using 2 different foundations for liquid. It is the same brand though. It's Lancome. I'm using 420 Bisque Neutral and 260 Bisque Neutral. Going to put a pump of each on the flat side of my sponge. I'm so excited. This is the fun part, guys. Like, this is the fun part. Yes. Now, if you're still seeing dryness after this, there's something more you need to do. You might need added moisture, you might need other things, but here we go. Ready? Press it into the skin. Focusing on one section of your face at a time. Add more foundation as necessary. And begin to press it in everywhere. You can flip the mirror at this point if you want to your regular magnification. I've got my forehead and my nose left. Make sure you are pressing it. And don't put too much on at once because you don't want foundation to bunch up. That's why, you know, less is more. And if you need to go in with more, you can. But doing it slowly is what works. Now be careful at the hairline. You don't want too much of a difference between that and your scalp because it's a dead giveaway of what you're putting on your face. Go over your ears. Sometimes we get flushed and our ears get red. Oh my gosh, I get so amazed every time I do this now. It's crazy. Okay, so nothing is dry. Everything is filled in. Everything looks nice and smooth. So we can do our brows and we can also move on to bronzer and other things. Actually, ours, cream bronzer in Laguna. You're going to continue to use your sponge. I love this. Can you tell? It's a big old dent in it, and I just got it a few months ago. To the tip of your ear, and pull it out as you are pressing it into the skin. And you want it right here. You don't want it to come all the way out. I don't know if you can pick this up, but you can totally see the structure that's developing there. Okay. If you want to do your forehead, gently. And then use a different part of the sponge to blend it in. Like I put it down with this, and then I'm blending with this. And you want to do the same thing on the other side. So satisfying. Isn't it satisfying, ladies? It's just so satisfying. One thing I want to mention is that once you start this skincare routine, you've got to keep it up. And it's going to make a difference. I promise you that. It definitely will. Okay. You can do your nose a little bit or not. Don't go crazy with the contour on the nose. That slim nose looking like thing, we're all going to be like, sorry we did that down the road. We're like, oh, look what I did. Yeah, no, it's not pretty. But if you have a bigger nose like me, you're going to want to put a little bit of bronzer so it does slim down a little bit. If you've already got a thin nose, you totally don't need this. Make sure underneath. And it just, a tiny, tiny bit goes a long way. We can do, oh, I love this. Now I would stay away from cream blushes unless you've got a really good one. And I have yet to find a really good one. So we're not going to go there. I will pull out a powder blush. Take a different part of my sponge. This is Patrick Ta's blush, and she's sincere. And I'm going to kind of just press this in, pull it back until I get the desired amount of color that I want. This will ensure you don't overdo it too. It's like, ah, nice. Okay, how many ladies do I have 35 and older on my channel? I'm curious. Okay, we still did not do any concealer for the under eye. You can use a regular liquid concealer if you would like to. I'm not going to do that unless I feel it's necessary. I am going to do my brows. I'm going to do them off camera and then I'll be back. Okay, guys. So I'm back. I did my brows. I did do my brows recently in another video, so this was in the last couple videos. So if you want to see how I do that, I will link that in here for you. And we're ready for shadow. We are. Let's talk about highlight. If you highlight a certain area of your face, you are accentuating that area and everyone's going to see it. So if you have texture, I wouldn't recommend highlighting where there is texture. And there's ways that you can get around doing this. Like this here for Highlight Milk Makeup. This one I like to use because it's not a powder. It's just a really light, creamy, tinted glow. And what I like to do is kind of put it up here. Press it into the skin like we do with everything else. And it'll give you a nice little glow. I also like to use Jaclyn's Luminous powder. And I have the shade Brilliant. What I do with this, I'll put some into the cap and I will take a flat sponge and I will dip that into the cap and lightly dust my face and press it in. And this is if you want to glow. You don't need to do this, but this is going to give you a light glow and like a blurring effect, which definitely helps with texture.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Now, if you've got any residue left over, grab a paper towel, press it into the skin. It'll pick up any loose powder that didn't absorb. And there's not much, as you can see. Okay, so you could use setting spray if you wanted at this point too. For my eye look, I think, well, you know what? Let me finish up with the bronzer. Oh, wrong bronzer. So I used my cream, my NARS cream, and now I'm going to use the NARS Summer Solitist, or Solitist, whatever. That powder bronzer. We can go in with our sponge again. We're going to use one of the part that has the angle. And we are going to just go over the areas that we put the bronzer very lightly. You can even put some underneath the lip if you wanted to, just to give you, it'll make it look like you have a pretty little pout, you know? Okay, so let's put that aside. Let me get my eyes done. I do have an eyeshadow tutorial if you want to check that out. I also want to talk to you guys about gloss. So gloss sometimes will look a lot better and a lot natural when you are putting on more makeup than usual. And even though we did put on more than usual, it was still a pretty minimum amount because we were careful when we went in to do this. So let me get my eyes done and then I'll come back and I will talk to you about some other. Okay, eyes are pretty much done. I am gonna take my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and put a little bit of it where I cleaned up my wing and underneath my eye. I'm gonna take the side of the beauty sponge I have not used yet and press this into the skin. Whoop, some on my wing. There we go. I used gel liner for my wing today, the Anastasia one that came in the Boxy Premium last month. Okay, so let me see, do I have everything the way that I want it? I think so. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with Jaclyn's Brightening Powders. I'm going to take like a flat foundation brush and I'm just going to dip it into the banana and the peach, tap it all, and set right underneath here. Then we can go ahead and do underneath the eye. You can wipe any excess away if you want. I use the Patrick Ta eyeshadow palette. I love this eyeshadow palette. Great for easy looks. It blends so beautifully. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Okay, we got the under eye to do, and I've been liking Kylie's gel liner for that. These are super pigmented. I'm gonna have to try a different color besides black too. We'll see if we can get me out of my black funk. I'm like always loving black for eyeliner. That's it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take my Medicine Beer brush that looks like this, dip it into the cream shadows of the Patrick Ta palette. Then I'm gonna dip it straight down, just poking it like that. I'm gonna put right here. Wiggle it back and forth. It's gonna mix a little bit with the shadow there, and that's what I wanted to do so we could create a smoky effect. Now I'm going to dip it into two of the matte shadows, the darkest ones on the bottom. Okay, and here's where if you didn't get to really do highlighter here, you could really make your inner corner stand out if you wanted to. It just kind of helps. It takes the attraction away from certain parts of the face. We've got this highlighter I've just got in, what is it, Ipsy X. It is the About Face. I'm just going to put a little bit on my hand and take a brush like this, and we're just going to put a little in the inner corner, swoop it up, swoop it over, go back, grab a little more, and you can really make this light if you're into highlight, you know. You can even use this as your brow bone. All right. Now it's time for some mascara and lashes. I've got tons of videos on that stuff, so I'm going to do this off camera and I will be back. Okay guys, got my lashes on, and I'm going to finish up with a lip gloss. I have so many of them, but I'm finding that without doing an extravagant bold lip, that this helps everything. So just a natural lip, grab a lip gloss, or a foil lip works well too. I don't know, it just does for me. So I'm going to go ahead and use Laura Lee's lip gloss. This is from her newest collection, that collaboration she did with Erin. Okay guys, so what do you think? Let me know. I definitely want to talk to you down in the comments. I want to know what you guys are thinking, if I have answered any questions for you. If you have any questions for me, put them down in the comments below. I want to take the time to say thank you to Jessica, because I asked, what did you guys want to see? And she says, I need to know how to fix texture. So I am constantly looking for new ways. If this is something that you are interested in, definitely hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I love doing tutorials. I am always checking up to see the latest in the makeup artistry world and constantly taking classes here and there. I am a makeup artist, but I constantly dabble into it and try to figure things out, especially we're dealing with texture. I know that now a lot more celebrities are talking about the acne they've had, the scars that they've had, and different things like that. And I've seen a few influencers talk about this, but in reality, a lot of texture makes us sad. So it's something that is definitely not talked about enough, and there's a lot of makeup hacks out there that don't work, and that's why I dive into the research and I try these products and I do different things to try to come up with new solutions all the time. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I will gladly read my comments, and if you have a suggestion for a future video, something you'd like me to talk about or show, let me know, and I will see you guys real soon in another video.